So what is The Last Story? The Last Story is a role-playing game for the Nintendo Wii. The game uses a real-time action turn-based hybrid battle system with amazing visuals, an action-packed adventure, and a heartfelt romantic tale. This game does contain some similarities to Xenoblade, like having your character attack automatically, and much of the strategy involves who your foes are targeting. The real difference in the battle system of the two games is three things though. The Last Story's use of cover, destructible environments, and the interruptible casting times of spells. By combining these three elements, a clear strategic method is made possible. In order to cast powerful spells that can even alter the environment, you need to first distract your foes, allowing your allies to accomplish greater tasks. Early in the game, the protagonist Zale gains an ability called Gathering, which draws the attention of all nearby foes so that your spellcasters can do their jobs. Another key ability is named Focus. This ability allows you to see weaknesses and make long-range attacks. It is often used to interact with the environment by destroying bridges used by your foes, or otherwise disposing of monsters before actual combat can even begin. You can also freely switch to an overhead perspective which freezes time, allowing you to plot your next moves. The Last Story is about 30 hours of gameplay, which becomes expanded by adding side quests and playing online with more players. Yes, though uncommon in many Wii games, The Last Story actually features two online modes. The first mode is called Suppression, which allows up to 6 players to cooperatively take on large bosses for special rewards. The second mode, Fray, lets players choose between various characters including monsters in an all-out battle royale. Though relatively short for an RPG, The Last Story contains roughly 12,000 lines of spoken dialogue, and was designed as a deep but incredibly rich experience. Who made The Last Story? The Last Story comes to us from Mistwalker Studios and was developed by AQ Interactive. The game was envisioned and directed by Hironobu Sakaguchi, the founder of Mistwalker Studios and creator of Final Fantasy. The Last Story is the first game directed by Sakaguchi since Final Fantasy V over 20 years ago. Upon leaving Square Enix, Sakaguchi founded Mistwalker in 2004, where he produced the Xbox 360's Lost Odyssey and Blue Dragon RPGs. As famous as Sakaguchi is, he is perhaps a lesser-known genius when compared to his good friend and collaborator, the renowned composer Nobuo Uematsu. Uematsu, like Sakaguchi, earned his fame on the Final Fantasy franchise, but has since become an incredibly prolific composer for video games and anime. He even composed the main theme for Super Smash Bros. Brawl. What is The Last Story about? The Last Story follows the journey of Zale, the young member of a mercenary group with a tragic past and dreams of one day becoming a knight. Zale and his ragtag band of mercenaries are hired by Count Arganin to face off against the invading Gurg race. They've become united as an army for the first time under the leadership of a charismatic antagonist named Zangurg. Meanwhile, a forbidden love is brewing between Zale and the Count's niece, Callista, who dreams of escaping her arranged marriage and exploring the world outside her castle walls. The game's prominent locale is the massive castle town of La Zulis, located on its own island situated directly before the only port entrance of a mountainous continent. Outside of missions, most of your time will be spent interacting with the many inhabitants of the city. Whether it's taking quests, playing pranks, or just getting lost in the endless cobblestone alleyways of the European-inspired city that The Last Story brings to life. Why should I be excited about The Last Story? The pedigree of The Last Story alone is worth the price of entry, but what Mistwalker and AQ Interactive have made is a stunning modernization of the RPG format. The creator of Final Fantasy has reinvented the genre he made famous, and in doing so has unearthed the spiritual successor of his own legendary creation. Beautifully rendered and perfectly crafted, The Last Story is perhaps the most modern game Nintendo has ever published, and yet, at the same time, marks the triumphant return of the Japanese RPGs. With the very wide-open release schedule for the Wii in 2012, The Last Story might indeed be the perfect last story for the little white box that could. For those who would like to help see the release of these games, please support Operation Rainfall by following the links below this video. Thanks for watching.